What's going on, my beat builders? It's a great day to be alive in 2025. Now, if you ignore this thing, you could be severely hurting your chances to get more sync placements. And this is especially important for new people who just got into a sync library and you don't have any placements yet. And what I'm talking about is not following the rules and outlines of a music brief. So what is a music brief? It simply outlines what the show is looking for as far as music production. So let me show you an example. Now, this is not a real show. I just made this to show you the type of briefs I get. So don't submit to this email. Don't look for this show. This is just something I made up just for the purposes of showing you what a brief is. So let's say this show is coming out, this fake show, Lying for Love. They would send this brief to music production companies and say, hey, we need the following tracks, pass this on to your artist in your catalog, and then send the music back. So what I see happening is producers don't pay attention to what's in this brief. Before I show you what's all in this brief, this fake brief, this here is a form I did in a music review last year in 2024. If we look at this question right here, this beat number 1, track name and BPM. So in order to submit your music for review, you had to put the track name and BPM. But you'd be surprised how many people didn't include the BPM. And some of the track names, I think they just copy and paste from something else because it was like beat 10. Now that's not a great track name, but they definitely did not include the BPM. So not including it, I just didn't play it. And it's not me being harsh. It's me, the reality that will hurt your chances if you don't follow what these briefs tell you. So, all right, back to the fake brief. Lying for Love. If we look here, it first tells you to send tracks to musicbrieftracks.com. Make sure you get the email right. And it says by Sunday, March 1st at 12 p.m. So if you missed the time, you missed the time. You need to be on time. It also has a few things that the structure of the track, the files. It says track should be WAV files at 48 kilohertz. Track length should be between 1 minute and 30 seconds and 2 minutes. Include track metadata as a CSV. Now, this is the second thing that often trips people up when they're in music libraries. It's basically the metadata of the track. So again, this is just all made up, but this is a template I had made years and years ago of how to track my metadata. Now, some music libraries, they give you this template so you can just fill in, but this is something I had when I first started because I didn't have any metadata. I didn't have a template, so I had to just make up my own. But as you can see, they will be something similar to this. They'll ask for the song name, and you see here, I got my song name. Now I have the different alternate versions of my song name. So I have the full, the underscore, drum and bass, pass drones, drums. Then I have the composer. Since it's just me, it's my name. If it was multiple people, you will put multiple people's names. I got the PRO. Usually they ask for whichever PRO you in and the number associated with your PRO. We scroll over. We got the genre. This is ambient music, a subgenre. You may or may not get asked a subgenre, but I just put ambient electronic. BPM. I got the publisher, which is just me, DPIV Music. Then I have the instruments of each track of what plays in it. Now this can vary. Some music libraries will give you a template to say, hey, only choose from these type of instruments, and some they won't. So you just want to get the main instruments in the track. Now what I find, this is the hard thing about metadata. Every single library is different. They should really invent like one master data pool of keywords and terms to use to go to tag your tracks. But even if we did have a big database, that would be tough because one word can mean different things to different types of people. There's just different ways to describe the same thing. So it's hard to have one kind of big, huge library. But for just example, I got like right here, I put synth pads, I put bells, I put drones, I put synth bass and electronic drums. So like I said, you mainly want to just get the big things out of the way and put it in different instruments. It's the same thing with mood. So since this show is like a cheaters type show where the music going to be emotional and stuff like that, so I just did dark, emotional, tension, suspense. Again, some libraries would send you a sheet that say, hey, pick from these different moods, but only give me like 3 different moods, because you can really tag these with as many things as you want to, because there's so many different type of moods and words that can describe a song and a track. But so I can't really say how many you should put. When I first started, the first library I was in, I didn't get a template, so I was just putting a lot of keywords. And sometimes the production library, they just go back and they use their own metadata too. It's just you filling it out gives them a starting point. And then sometimes you get asked for the duration of the track, so I got the duration there. And when it says, if we look at the brief, include as a CSV. So that means a comma separated value. Now in this is just the Google Sheets. And you can do this if you had a Word document or Excel document. But you want to make sure, if I go to it, see it's right here, comma separated values .csv. This is just a way the doc is formatted. So when they plug it into their programs on the music publisher side, all the info can be dumped in very easily, and it just saves a lot of time because metadata and tagging is really time intensive. Let's get back to the brief. So we got the producer notes. It says no piano, no orchestral instruments. So when you read that, what do you think you should make your beats with? Don't use piano. Don't use orchestral instruments. I know you might think, duh, Dennis, it says right there. But again, people do not follow instructions, right? The name of this fake show is called Line for Love. So you're thinking dark and emotional. Piano is very emotional. So if you're just used to producing tracks with piano, you might not even think about not having a piano in your track. Right? It'll just slip your mind because you're so used to producing with pianos, not thinking that there's other type of ways to have emotion without pianos. Now, if we look at what the client actually wants, so we see, okay, the first is going to be suspense. We want the genre to be ambient music. And here are the few little notes that they included. I want the track to be very sparse. So that just means not a lot of stuff going on, maybe 1 or 2 elements, 3 elements, and that's good. Dark and emotional. So you don't want to send nothing happy, comical, because you're trying to make suspenseful music that's dark. And then it says sting endings have big build up for cliffhangers. So you know in shows when people looking around and it's like dun 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 dun, and it just cuts to a commercial. That's what they want for that kind of track. And we also have another kind of track that's going to be played during intro scenes. And if you look here, the genres they want is hip hop and pop. So a little notes again to help you produce the beat. It says fun and upbeat track. The beat should be consistent to keep movement going. And music shouldn't have too many elements and distractions. So sometimes these things are hard to decipher because let's take this line that says music shouldn't have too many elements and distractions. Well, what does that mean? Does that mean no harsh lead sounds, no harsh guitar sounds? It's just all up to interpretation. So what I would try to do is, what I usually do, if I just get a brief in a PDF file, I would always ask, hey, give me musical examples of something that will be placed in that show. So having the music examples is very good because then it helps you stay on track and then you're not guessing so much. But even then, it's still a caveat, even if you get music examples about what's going to play in the show. So let's say this show is on season 2. So they already got a catalog in season 1 of the sound that they're going for. So they know what they're looking for and they send you tracks that were placed in season 1. And you get those tracks. So even though you get those tracks, you don't necessarily want to copy them all the same. It's just like you're trying to maybe push the envelope just a little bit to make it different because they are trying to make new things, right? Season 1 could have been done last year. Season 2 could have been done in 2 more years later. Sounds have changed. The way mixes have changed. So you just have to keep that in mind. The examples they give you may sound old, but you have to think, okay, how do I make this for now? You just make it with the same type of mood, the same type of chord structures, the same type of instruments, but asking for that reference really helps get the ball rolling so you don't really have to guess too much. And one more thing I want to bring up, I'm stumbling on my words. Are you drinking your water? My throat is getting dry. This is one thing I want to start putting in my videos to make sure you're keeping with your health as a producer. You might be drinking on all kind of other type of stuff, but you cannot beat water. It's just so good for your body. Paying attention to the music brief is very important because it gives you everything that you need to know to make the best track and have the best possible outcome to get your tracks placed. And there are no guarantees. So just because you follow the brief exactly how they want, there's no guarantees that your music is going to get placed anyways, but it gives you a better chance to get your music placed. So I don't want you to miss out on any opportunities this year to get more sync placements. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments and other things that you want to learn about music licensing, whether you're new or you're a veteran to the game. And if you want more tips and tricks about how to get your music into TV shows and making music for sync licensing, check out one of these videos.